children's favorite stories and fables, myths, and fairy tales. Okay, it's authored by Liana Romulo, and the illustrations in this book are by Juan de Leon. So I ordered them. Anyway, here we go. A Feast of Gold. There once lived a very rich couple who owned a large farm, or a hacienda, with endless fields of tall sugar cane. On the hacienda, they had a big house with 24 servants. Though the house was grand, it was very bare. The couple didn't care about decorating their house or making it comfortable. All they cared about was money, money, and more money. From the moment they woke up in the morning to the time they went to bed, all they did was count their money. Okay, I mentioned a word here. It's hacienda. And hacienda is a Spanish word that is like a ranch, a big ranch or a farmland where they, in the Philippines, they usually planted sugar cane in those big haciendas. And when you have a big hacienda, you are called haciendera or haciendero. And of course, you are also considered wealthy. So at that time, those hacienderos and hacienderas, they had big household of help that were working all over the hacienda. You know, they pay these people to help them in the farm and in the hacienda, and of course, as they are here, this couple is very rich, so they live in a large farm. Okay, let's continue. One day, when they were busy counting their money, a servant came to tell them that lunch was ready. "Oh, not now!" the man cried out, piles of gold all around him. "We are so busy. The food can wait," the woman said. The servant turned and left. 2 hours later, the couple finally came down to eat. But when they arrived at the table, they discovered that all the food had turned to gold. Ugh. Because that's what they wanted. They just wanted gold and money, money, money. The man grabbed a fistful of gold coins and let them fall one by one into his plate. "They are real," he said, smiling. "We're even richer than before." Then he took his wife into his arms and they danced all around the dining room. "Let's celebrate with a feast," the woman said, clapping her hands. "Yes," agreed her husband. "We'll call everyone we know." "Lydia," the woman yelled for the chief cook. The cook came to the door. "Yes, ma'am." "Tonight we're having a celebration," said the woman. "Prepare a feast for 300 guests." Of course, they have a lot of money, so they can afford to feed 300 people. The cook nodded. "Yes, ma'am." So she went back into the kitchen, but a few seconds later, she came back, a look of shock on her face. "Ma'am, I've just been to the pantry, and all our supplies have turned to gold." Wow, everything in that household turned into gold. So the couple said, at the same time, "What? All the food," said the cook in disbelief. "The sugar, the milk, the dried fish, everything's gone." See, I mentioned dried fish. In the Philippines, we eat a lot of dried fish, and they are delicious. Also, they're being sold here in Oriental stores and Filipino Oriental stores here in the U.S. So that's one of the most favorite foods that Filipinos eat: dried fish. So anyway, let's continue. The man and the woman quickly ran into the pantry to jobs, and just as the cook said, it was overflowing with gold. Oh my goodness, the pantry was overflowing with gold because all of the food turned into gold. And the husband said, "Oh my, yay! More gold for us!" The man wrapped his arms around her waist, grinning from ear to ear. "It will take months for us to count all this money." He laughed joyfully. "Maybe even years." "So, let's postpone the celebration then," the woman said. "We have too much work to do." She then grabbed a brown rice sack, which was now filled with gold, and began dragging it into the dining room. So they went to the dining room and started counting their gold coins. Forgetting their hunger, the couple poured all their gold into one room and counted for several days. They did not eat, they did not sleep, and they didn't even speak to one another. Only the sound of the tinkling coins could be heard echoing throughout their empty house. Wow! So day after day and night after night, they were counting the gold coins. With each passing hour, they grew weaker and weaker from hunger, but they went on counting anyway. Many times the servants tried to bring in new supplies from the outside, but any food that they brought in instantly turned into gold. For their own meals, they were forced to eat at a neighbor's house, because what was in that house, that big house, were all gold. Gold, gold, gold. Wherever you look, it was all filled with gold, because that is what this couple wanted: more money, more money, more money. So everything, even their food, turned into gold. But can you eat gold? Ooh, let's see what happens. Still, in spite of how thin the couple had become and how faint they felt, they continued to carefully stack the gold coins, counting each and every last one. The thought that they should simply stop counting and go out to eat never even entered their minds, because they had become blinded by the gold. The couple went on in this manner for weeks, neither one strong enough to break the spell of greed. Eventually, both died from starvation without even enjoying their riches. Wow! Greed and money. So, I don't know. What's the moral story? What is the moral lesson of the story?